Well, it's been a long time, a very, very long time, more than I wanted to be the case, but we're back for the penultimate race, the penultimate episode of this F1 2009 My Team Career Mode. If you want to refresh your memory, the previous episode will be linked in the top right for the Japanese Grand Prix, so go check it out. Spoiler warning is ahead. So with that in mind, let's get into it. 2 races remain and it's a 3-way fight for the Drivers' Championship. As you can see, we have activities to take care of. We also have a season break on the way, so quite a big gap between the last race and the next one. In that time, we're going to take care of upgrades. We're going to go for a major front downforce upgrade on the aerodynamics, and we're also going to add to that by doing some facility work. And we have cash to burn, and we're going to go and improve the simulator to try and bring up Ricciardo's pace and make him a bit more competitive in these final 2 rounds. With that done, we arrive at the break, and we're going to swiftly return from that season break and get right back into productive tasks and getting things done. And you can see we had a failure on the upgrade we just purchased, so we're going to have to repurchase it once again. However, it's going to arrive after the Brazilian Grand Prix, so this car is going to be pretty much unchanged. We also added another upgrade to the personnel on the simulator, so Ricciardo should hopefully have a nice little juicy pace boost this weekend. But we're going to also add to that by doing a minor drag reduction upgrade. So I had a few points left over, and I wanted to get it on the car before the finale, so we're going to make sure we get both of those upgrades on the car for Abu Dhabi. So with that done, upgrades out the way, we can now jump into the weekend at Interlagos. And it's a big one because the forecast is wet for the race. We have the first third or so of the race is going to be contested in wet conditions. Not heavy rain, so probably intermediates. Qualifying is dry, and so is the second half of the race. Here is the championship. Now, Timo Glock looks very strong. He has a 16-point gap over me with 2 races to go, this one and Abu Dhabi. Jarno Trulli also has an outside chance, and he is retiring at the end of the season, so he has 2 races left in his Formula 1 career. Toyota have also officially clinched the Constructors' Championship, so not a lot more to add there really. However, this is the big issue. Our energy store is worn, very, very worn, to the point where we are going to have to take a grid drop penalty this race. I cannot race with this level of wear, so we're going to move all of our components up to spec 3 and basically have maximum power and freshness available to us this weekend. But we're going to have to take the pain of a 5-place grid drop for the energy store, so that's going to be big, and that is going to change some of the qualifying results and also potentially where we start in the race. Also, there could be other pens for other cars, other drivers. Practice wise, I actually kept the running to a minimum. I didn't want to run too much. I wanted to keep the engine fresh, especially for the last 2 races. Also, we've done the upgrades that we want to do for the last race, so there's not much more we can do now besides basically maximize every weekend. So with that done, let's get into qualifying, into the short qualifying, and let's see what we can do. Now, the last race in Japan was a pretty strong weekend. We had a bit of a tyre bug, which, we had tyre issues where, to be fair, just watch the episode, but basically we had overheating. I think it was rear overheating on the hards and front overheating on the softs. Eventually we got the medium and they were absolutely perfect, but we only managed to salvage a P3 in the race. For this one, I'm hoping for a smooth weekend and no weird tyre performance shenanigans, but currently Q1, and you can see we're currently at the end of our first timed lap, looking to try and hopefully have a decent banker. We do a 1 minute 9 dead pretty much, so that gives us P6, just behind Glock and Button. Eventually P7, and I got my timings a little bit wrong in this qualifying. I tried to go out a bit later, and I've only given myself time for this lap. I could go out again, but it would add a lot of wear onto my tyres, and also the AI lap times would bug out, because with this mod you have to let the AI do their lap times. You can't fast or quick sim the session, otherwise the lap times break. So we're only going to get this run, so this has to count, and we have to try and deliver. So pole right now I believe is in a 1 minute 8.7 or 6, so that's the benchmark. Currently through the center S though, we do find half a tenth, and that does give us a slight advantage in sector 1. Braking pretty much at the 50, down to 3rd gear for turn 4. We quickly make our way back up to 4th, and then make our way through the gears as we head up the hill, and we're still half a tenth up into the double right-hander of 6 and 7. Now then, we go into the very tricky and kind of mechanical grip section, technical section, where you need the downforce, and I am running pretty high wings compared to everybody else by the looks of it, because we're very strong in this middle sector. We have been all weekend. Making our way through the second hairpin, we find a chunk of time here on the entry and also the exit, which means across the split we're going to be purple, and that is going to give us a chance to hopefully challenge for pole. Currently 7th. Let's see what the lap can give us. We find a bit more time through the final corner, and we're 3 tenths up, and this could be potentially a very high 6. Across the line, it's going to be a 1:08.692. We just narrowly miss out on Jarno Trulli by literally 0.02 of a second, but that is going to be our qualifying done, and now we wait and see what the damage is as we finish in P6. But look how close the session was. Literally the top 6 covered by less than 0.2 of a second. Jarno Trulli on pole, Kubica in 2nd, Rosberg in 3rd, Massa home race P4, and Timo Glock the championship leader in P5, but we are going to drop back 5 places on the grid with that engine penalty. So we're going to start from P11 unless other cars or drivers have penalties also. So that's going to be qualifying, guys, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not too mad about it. I think we've got a decent chance, but it's going to be critical that we have a good start to the race. And remember, we have rain for the very first part of the Grand Prix. So guys, let's get into the main event and let's see what happens in the race for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. But it's a wet one today, so grip and visibility will be at a premium. And the drivers will need to be careful coming up the hill in Sector 3, the scene of many an accident over the years. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Now, we probably ought to start by discussing Pierre Gasly. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Now this race should be interesting. We have rain to start off and pretty much is going to be with us for the first almost half of the race. Dry tyres will then be used, and I'm looking at possibly a 1-stop. It depends on when the rain ends, but if it goes long enough, we could do an intermediate onto a medium and go the whole way on a 1-stop. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. Fuel-wise, I'm running 46.4 kg, which is what the practice simulations were. We're slightly under fuel according to the game, but that should be fine in terms of the fuel amount. So we should save a little bit, especially in this wet phase at the start. So the key thing is going to be the first lap, the start, to try and get back in the race. We're, of course, 5 places down from where we qualified, so we're going to have to try and fight back. So let's get to work, let's send it, let's see what happens. Hopefully we can try and get in the mix. Our target, of course, is Timo Glock. So let's try and beat him in this race here today. 2 races remain. This is it. We have to make it count. Lights on. Lights out. And away we go. It's not a great start. It's not terrible. Thought about going up the inside there, but we're just going to hang back. Wet conditions, not something I'm super used to with this mod. Fisichella with a good start. Oh, back in there, getting very loose. Losing curves as we look to re-challenge. Going to try and tuck in behind Barrichello here to re-overtake Fisichella. Going nose to tail, and we make it work. Up ahead, Raikkonen and Button going at it. As we now head into the double rights, this is going to be key. We have a chance to go through on the home favourite, Rubinho, and we're going to go for it. No prisoners taken. There's Glock, P5, so he hasn't gained anything off the start. Up the inside of Heidfeld, we go for it with a big lunge into the second hairpin. He was turning in, he was always going to try and give me the squeeze, but now we've got the run of Raikkonen as well. Great sequence of overtakes there. Super good aggression. And that is P7. We've given ourselves a bit of a chance now. Visibly we can see Glock ahead. We're about to find out if we have any pace. Here comes Raikkonen with a massive run. Heidfeld looking to follow. So our wings seem a bit high. But for these conditions, that might be a blessing for us as we have better braking and cornering. So we may be able to make that count. Just got to try and defend on the straight. So far, so good. Big run down the hill. Purple in sector 2. Right behind JB, although now we're going to see the straight on speed test. Going to stay in the slipstream here. We're going to use now all the curves to try and stick with it. We might just have a chance here down to 1. We match Jarno's pace out front as we go down the inside of Button into turn 1. Into the center S. Button tries to fight on the switchback, but we put our car right on the apex and we're going to stay in front. Now we go on the run down to turn 4. Going to defend the inside from Button. And job done. P6 up next, our main target, Timo Glock. We have to pass.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Car's in good state. What about the weather?
Current forecast is 5 or 10 more minutes of rain before it dries up. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Okay, still a little while on these then. That's good. We are the quickest car on track right now, without a doubt. Maybe truly, P1 is similar pace to me, but we are quicker than the next 4 cars, and we have to get them whilst the conditions are on our side. So, this is where we're strongest. We might be able to challenge Glock. Right now, I've saved all my curves. Glock defends the inside. He knows we've been looking for that move with other cars, but we still go through. Got a decent exit as well, so we've got a bit of a buffer. Now we can start to push. Using all the curves now down the main straight. Glock's going to get a run here. We're going to defend the inside into 1. So we are lacking a bit of top end, but we're going to be alright. And we get through. Glock not able to get back past. And that is championship critical. The gap is 16 points, I believe, so we still have to work here. Glock tries to go for the dummy. I think lost a bit of momentum on the way through, but this time we're going to lock it in. And now we arrive at our safe haven, which is sector 2 where the corners are, and we can start to open up a gap. So let's push on now and get Felipe, Kubica, and try and make some progress. Another one down the inside. Massive defense, not as aggressively. Whoa, big snap. Not as aggressively as Glock. Now we're on the back foot here, so we're going to have to use the curves, which I've saved. Massa, though, still has the run. That Ferrari's very fast on the straight. Look at him go. Goes straight back through. Down the inside, though, we're going to have none of it. Straight back through on Massa. Super aggressive pass. The rain now has stopped. The track is rapidly drying here, so it won't be long until we're on slicks, pretty much. Glock looking to get in the mix. Massa keeps a tight line. We bang tyres and trade paint, but we go through for P4, and that is critical. Let's push now and get a gap, although it could be dry as this lap, to be fair. Our rears are absolutely fried, which would explain a bit of the lack of grip on this lap. So it really won't be long now till it dries. Could have maybe put on that lap, to be fair. There it is. Gonna select mediums for the next stint. Okay, we're gonna pit. Let's see if the AI also go for it. I think they're staying out, which is interesting. We're gonna box.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Ooh, the timing on that. The timing on that. I'm gonna go medium. I could switch to soft here, but I'm gonna stick with medium. I think we've got 2 sets, so we could go medium here. Button's going for medium, so that's the right sign I'm looking for.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
Right, away we go. Only just ahead of Button there, but crucially we are. Right then. Let's push. Let's get after it. And let's see how this goes. Track feels a little bit slippery, to be fair, more than I expected, at least on pit exit. We'll get a better reading on the track. Yeah, there's actually not a ton of grip, to be fair. This is interesting. The track's a bit shiny, so it's not there just yet. But the track should come to us, hopefully. Okay, everyone's in. This hasn't been a great outlap. Just doesn't feel particularly great right now, but let's see. They're going to be on cold tyres now. We're going to have better tempo. I think we've lost a bunch of places here. I've got a lot of understeer right now. The track does not feel great. The car does not feel great. The tyres don't feel great. And we're P6. We're behind Massa. Well, that's a bit of a surprise. Button's now all over the back of us here. Let's see if I've got the pace. Hopefully no bugs like in Japan. A nice, smooth race is what I look for now. Okay, we go purple. Kovalainen was in the pits, so we're now P5. So we've lost out to Massa in the pit stop phase. So let's see how this pans out. I've got mixed feelings. Button has got the run on me here, so we're going to have to defend down to turn 4. But there's a lot of understeer right now, and our pace is not looking great. I'm hoping we'll get quicker once the track rubbers in, and we'll be back to usual pace. 12.9 from Truly. Let's see. 12.7 from Massa. 13.8. Okay, that's quite a way off the pace then. Now I'm a little bit concerned. Crucially, I think Glock is behind us, so let's try and keep it that way. He's behind Raikkonen right now as Button comes back for more. But we're going to have to try and keep Glock as far back as possible. 12.3 Truly this time. 12.1 from Massa. We'll do a 12.7. Okay. It's a bit more like it. And to be fair, I actually have a bit more of a gap over Button this time. So maybe now with the track rubbering in, we're just getting a bit more confident with the car, and the pace is coming back to us a bit. That gap ahead is growing, so we have to try and push. 11.0 Truly. This time Massa does not respond, but we do an 11.4, so that's pretty decent. So now the pace is looking a bit better. Let's see. Gap still went up though on that last lap, which isn't ideal. But at least we're holding our own now. Raikkonen, Button battling behind. Raikkonen, I think, has got through, so we welcome that. Bit of time loss. Glock right behind Button. Okay, 11.0. Pace is looking a bit healthier now, but I am knackering my fronts. I'm locking my fronts to push hard, so I've got more front wear than rear wear. And just generally my tyre wear is quite high. Also fuel is marginal. I'm having to save a little bit, so we'll see how this all works out. Raikkonen is quicker than Button. Button slowly dropping back. The pace right now is identical to Kubica and Massa. And Raikkonen has just picked it up a little bit, but we've also pretty much generally the same pace as him, so not a lot of change, not a lot of movement. Things are kind of staying the same. We're doing 11.0s every single lap. So we now have the tyre wear icon, which means we do have a bit of issues with wear, and I've got to try and make a decision soon in terms of what I'm going to do. I think that AI are going to go softs in the last stint. Interestingly, Raikkonen pits, so we'll see what they go for. Maybe it's worth going for a soft. I've got a fresh soft available. It says used, but it's literally 0 to 1%. It's nothing, so we can look at it and try it. Okay, everyone's pitting. I want to go one more lap. Kubica goes out one more. I just want to see Glock also staying out one more, so he's not going to undercut us. But I just want to see what tyre everyone goes for. Everyone seems to be going for a medium, so maybe a soft might be a gamble worth taking to try and get something out of this. Kubica in. Glock will follow. I want to see if I go to lap 36 and put the softs on. Because the tyre wear is a little bit higher, we're locking up pretty much everywhere so that I can push hard and drive fast. So the longer I take these, the better in terms of our strategy. Only thing is now we are conceding a possible undercut to Glock. So into the 9s for those on fresh tyres. That's a pretty scary number. That's a lot of pace. 1.5 seconds quicker than us pretty much. These tyres have really hit the cliff, and I accidentally left my KERS on, so we've got nothing to deploy up the hill, but this is it. We're going to probably lose out to Glock, but I'm hoping the soft helps us. I'm going to put a bit more front wing on. I want to be faster, even faster, in the middle sector to have more speed in those corners. So this is it. This is an all-in gamble for the championship. This is going to be really important. We have to try and get that P5 back in these closing stages. So this is everything. Great stop. Absolutely excellent on the money. Barrichello's got himself in the mix. He's ahead of Glock. Racing on pit exit here. We've got to try and push. There is Glock just behind him. But Barrichello's put himself in there. So we've got a bit of a chance now, actually, to have a few cars between us. If we can finish ahead of Raikkonen and get that P5 back, that would be ideal. And that would really help us out. So let's get to it. We're going to waste no time on this tyre, especially once it's up to temperature. We've got so much more grip already. Same place as before. Through on Glock. Job done. Now we're going to use the KERS as Glock sits in behind. He's going to probably re-challenge. He gets on the inside just, so we have to let him go. That's not ideal. And I'm not quite close enough to challenge into 1. We have a little bump into 2. This is all valuable time we're wasting on the soft. So our straight line speed is a bit of an issue, but I've gone all in with the wing gamble, so hopefully it pays off. Track limits. First one of the race. Look at that, we've got the run already. And this time we go around the outside and pull off the overtake, and we stay on the racing line. So this is going to give us a chance to stay close to Barrichello, using all the KERS up the hill. Also, the fastest lap would be key if I could get that point. Glock fighting back here. We don't go fastest. Block up the inside. I'm going to go super deep and just go back around the outside. Glock back for more. Using a lot of KERS. He gets on the inside and he's becoming a bit of a pest. So we're going to have to fight this one out with our rival. We just turn in on him there and get in front. Now we have to clear these brooms on this lap. We're losing performance by the corner here, so we have to make the soft tyre count. Good exit. Up the inside, contacting the way through. Barrichello tried to close the door on us there. And now we're going to get close to JB. But of course, we've got no KERS, which is going to be a big issue, a big sticking point. Just going to try and see if we can stay in the slipstream here. Maybe we can challenge on the run down to 4. Fuel is a bit low. Good exit. Come on, let's go. We'll use everything here to try and get this move done. Whoa. Round the outside. Button has a moment himself and we clear him. And that was critical. Now we can push into this middle sector and use the tyres. This is going to be my fastest lap attempt. We didn't get it. Fuel was a bit of an issue. We lost half a second in the last sector just because we didn't have KERS up the hill. I'll just do a regular lap here and see if it's enough to get the job done. This is going to be it. Will it be enough? No. Not even close. We're just starting to edge closer to Kimi here. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I'm running out of tyres, but we're just finding a little bit of pace in this closing stage. We'll keep chipping away. Well, I got close. Just ran out at the end of laps and momentum. Truly wins. Raikkonen's going to hold on. One more lap and I would have had it. I just started to edge close there and get real, close with him, but I just ran out of time. But we'll take it.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
The quality and fantastic result of the Haas team will have been noticed by everyone else out there today. You can see why everyone's taking them so seriously. These drivers will be hot property by the end of the season.
So this race was really interesting for the championship. Jarno Trulli, who is retiring at the end of the season, has just put himself in title contention with this win. We finish in P6, Glock only manages P9, so the Brauns managed to split us, so we do outscore Glock by 6 points. Had we got the fastest lap and also got Raikkonen, we could have got an extra 3 points, which would have gone a long way in the standings. One thing to note, the meme is finally over. Lewis Hamilton has scored a point in this race, his first points of the season, so that meme has come to an end. Standings though, Jarno Trulli with that win puts himself in the lead, and we are 14 points behind, so it's why I said if we got Raikkonen and got the fastest lap of the race, those 3 points would have been keyed. We didn't quite deliver them. Glock did just enough in that initial phase on the softs where he frustrated me and stopped me from being, as quick as possible on the softs. And yeah, we kind of lost the best part of the tyre in the initial phase of the stint. So the finale is a three-way fight. Trulli leads us into Abu Dhabi, Glock is second, and we have an outside chance, very much like Sebastian Vettel in 2010, to try and steal the championship. We'll see what happens. Either way, guys, cheers for watching, like and subscribe. Predictions for the finale down below. And yeah, hope you guys look forward to it. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Until then, guys, take care, and let's go back from here.